That's a good question. I honestly probably never gave it too deep of a thought. I was like, well, this sounds interesting, and then I get to brag about it for the rest of my life, so I'll just do it. I think that was probably the all that was going on in my brain at that time. But I guess it kind of does tie in a little bit to resilience though, because I grew up swimming. It was not like an unusual thing for me to do swimming, but um at that time specifically when I did it, I think it was 2021. I guess I can't totally remember anymore what year it was, but when I did it, part of it was because I was still recovering from an injury, which it's never going to go away. I'm just going to deal with it probably for a while. But this nerve injury on my leg, where anytime I think at that time I was trying to walk, it would kind of flare up. Bike riding out of the question. There are a lot of things that it ended up just like making me unable to do because it would just get so irritated. So the one thing, and actually that's probably the main reason I went with a bikini. The one thing that felt really comfortable, that was like, really like good, intense, like cardio exercise, was being in the water because it was so cold and it numbed the nerve. So
Oh,
yeah, so
wow.
that now that I'm thinking back on it, that was definitely part of my decision to start doing this. Because yeah, I couldn't really do anything else. Everything else was basically off limits. So I never practiced in a pool because the pools weren't cold enough. They were heated pools. So going into the water, that's like, I don't know how much I don't know how hot it was. It was very cold. It was pretty freezing cold water. It felt really good on the nerve because it numbed everything. You go into the Pacific Ocean and everything's numb. So it felt really good for that reason. So I specifically actually sought out that discomfort because it felt so good for the nerve. And it's like freezing when you get in there. We were always practicing in our bathing suits. So it's like you get in, it's like kind of a shock. A few times I would get like an ocular migraine, which doesn't hurt. It's just weird. So I think my body had a weird response to like the cold. And you would swim, 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 your body heats up, you're kind of fine. And then you get out and you have this weird thing. I think it was called like the drop down effect or something, where all of your peripheral blood would go back into your vital organs and your core temperature would drop. And then you can't stop shivering. And you're just shivering for a few minutes until you can finally warm up again. So yeah, that's right. So that kind of ties into resilience a little bit, where I just kind of refused to let the nerve injury stop me from doing anything. At that time, I think I was very bitter about it. I've kind of come to accept it a little bit more, but I was like, no, I'm gonna do the thing. It can't stop me from doing the things. I'm gonna do this thing, even though it's very uncomfortable and very cold. And I don't really like deep water, but I'm gonna do that thing. So yeah, so there was a little bit of resilience there.